On behalf of everyone in our community and in healthcare, thank you for doing your part.
We appreciate your doing your part to keep us all safe.
When in public, stay 6 feet away from others.
Wash your hands often for at least 20 seconds with soap and water.
Wear a mask. Together, we are slowing the spread of this virus.
And together, we are saving lives.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this year's Wine and Words event to support the Literacy Center. I'm Jim Ayers from Amway Corporation, one of the sponsors of the event. We want to welcome you and thank you for attending. You know, as I thought about my favorite word regarding wine for this event, what would it be? And I came to the conclusion that that word is actually more. More wine is a good thing. Unfortunately, I'm here at work, so I can't open this bottle, but I hope you've got a bottle with you and you're enjoying it and you enjoy this event. You know, the Literacy Center does such great work in our community, helping people with language skills and reading to help our community become more vibrant and more prosperous for every one of our citizens in Grand Rapids and the greater Grand Rapids area. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you have a great time tonight. And please continue to support the Literacy Center's work. Thank you. Hello, everybody.
As a little girl, my grandfather told me there's only one thing that can't be taken from you, and that's an education. Inherent in any education is the ability to read. I'm Deirdre Mitchell, President and CEO of Wasayabec Development Company. Wasayabec is the tribally owned holding company that manages the Nottawasepi Huron Band of the Potawatomi's non-gaming economic development activities. Our mission is simple: create a diversified economy to support the tribe's long-term sustainability and economic self-sufficiency. This mission aligns with the Literacy Center's mission of bringing about a just and vibrant West Michigan through the power of literacy. My grandfather's lesson is one I've always believed and seek to honor. The power of literacy is literally the power to change lives. On behalf of Wasayabec, we are proud to support the Literacy Center of West Michigan. Thank you to the volunteers and to the staff for all that you do. Cheers.
Hey, hello everybody. I'm Wendy Fall, the Executive Director of the Literacy Center, welcoming you virtually to the 14th Annual Wine and Words event. I want to give a huge shout out to Jim Ayers, board member and head of Amway North America, for kicking off this year's event. And I also want to give a huge shout out to our friends at Wasayabec. I hear that the Wasayabec team is out there watching us live. That was a beautiful video. We so appreciate your support. And I'm here with Mark Peters, live in his beautiful home, who's hosting us for the event. Thanks for having us, Mark.
You're welcome. Hello, everybody. Glad you could join us tonight. Thank you to Jim also for the introduction. And for those of you that are maybe new to the Literacy Center, I get to chair the Donor Development Committee, and before that I was on the board. I was a board chair for a while, and so I've been hosting this event for 9 years now, and what a beautiful night we've had for our little pre-event.
Yep, absolutely. Mark, in addition to hosting, you are underwriting this event, so really appreciate your generosity. All of the sponsors that you see on the screen, I think we're getting them up right now, they've contributed significantly to keeping our programming going for adults in the community. A special thanks goes out to Amway North America, JC and Tammy Huizinga, and Spectrum Health, and our friends at the Wasayabec. So, Mark, we're in this gorgeous home of yours, this family home, Line Rock Manor. Can you tell us a little bit more? Most people call it the Butterball Mansion.
That's true. I think that the community has sort of named the house the Butterball Mansion, and I had been on a little bit of a crusade to get it named, rethought of as the Lion Rock Manor. The house predated our family living here, and probably will be here after our family has left. My father bought the house in '51, so our family has been here for a while. But it was actually being built. It was finished in 1928. Just a quick bit of history. It was finished in 1928, about the same time that the Blodgett Estate, or Brookby, was finished, and it was built by the same company, Owen Ames and Kimball. So there's a lot of similarities in the two homes, which is kind of interesting. So that's
That's
good for this.
Yeah, usually we have, I don't know, 140 people packed in this house, but today we've got everybody out there watching us live, but we have had an in-person event here, a very small in-person event where we've all been physically distanced. Tell us a little bit about it.
So we do like to, I love this event, by the way, Wine and Words. It marries two of my passions, one being literacy and one being wine. And so for our donors that give $1,200 a year or more, we like to host this little pre-event to Wine and Words where we do a nice wine tasting of some kind.
It's a very nice wine tasting.
And I like to do a little bit of education because there's a lot of people buy wines and don't always know things about it. So tonight we learned a little bit about the Tokalan plot of land in the Florida Napa Valley. But to participate, anybody that gives $1,200 or more gets invited to this pre-event. And normally it's inside, sort of behind closed doors before the main event. Tonight we were just super fortunate to have this group.
We sure were, and a great group of folks that we have. And I know there's a lot of other book club donors out there. We'd love to hear from you. Post. So $100 a month, and not only can you enjoy this beautiful event, more importantly, you can support one adult learner in our community for a year. So Mark, tell us a little bit. I hear so many great stories from folks on why they support the Literacy Center, like Deidre from Wasayabeck. Tell us a little bit why you support the Literacy Center.
Yeah, and I'll try to make it kind of quick, but I go back, I have a lot of history now with the Literacy Center. It really started as an employer where I needed to get some ESL, some folks that were Spanish speaking. I needed them to learn English. That was really my first introduction to the Literacy Center. But as I got more involved and joined the board, what I learned that really differentiates the Literacy Center is that literacy is often a struggle for somebody even in their native language. So a lot of us tend to think if you can't speak English, just learn English. But if you're not literate in your native tongue, that makes learning English a whole lot more difficult. So that was really my first learning about what the Literacy Center is all about. And as we've gone on, and we'll talk a little bit more about tonight, is how you guys continuously move forward to get to the people that need increased literacy in our community. And I just recently had an event with an interaction with the medical system, not for me personally, but for a friend of mine, and really was struck by how difficult that would be if I didn't have a certain level of literacy to be able to interact with the folks in that institution.
Yeah.
So it's really become, for me, the key that gives you access to participation in our life.
Absolutely, you got it right. Well, your commitment has been really substantial, and it's meant a lot in a lot of ways. You've been a strong advocate for us. Hopefully it will inspire others who are donors to sustain their commitment or expand their commitment, and I'm hoping we actually get some new donors tonight. But the biggest inspiration, of course, comes from the extraordinary people that we serve, amazing learners in our community. And tonight, in the next 30 minutes, we're going to share with you the testimony of 3 of our amazing Literacy Center learners.
But don't forget, while you're watching, that this is a fundraiser. And I'd be remiss, as the chair of the Donor Development Committee, to not ask for money. So you will hear me asking for money throughout this. Our goal is $15,000. Right. Look at that. We've got a little thermometer on the screen.
Oh, look at, woo!
I have this bet with Wendy that 15 just wasn't a high enough ask. We should have asked for 30. So I don't know. What do you think? We gotta beat 15.
You know what? The response to our virtual celebration was so heartening. So I'm feeling confident tonight. Right. And we also want to hear from everybody. Please put your comments in the chat. We want to hear how you know about us, how you're involved with us, and send us a pic if you're home drinking your wine and celebrating with us. We want to hear from you.
Right. So you guys delivered a bunch of wine today to people out there who are
Oh,
Look at us,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Deidre
So-
was out driving and delivering wine.
Please, if you got one of those packages today and you're joining us, text a picture so we can see it. That would be great. Sorry. So I've been impressed with you guys, and COVID has thrown a kind of a wrench in everybody's lives, and I look at this from the perspective of an employer. And the business that I'm in, we serve a lot of the hospitality industry, and our business was hit pretty hard with COVID. And it took us a little while to figure out how to pivot and how to respond and where we were going to go. But you guys didn't miss a beat. And I remember one of the first calls that we had after COVID, and I said, how are you guys dealing with this? But you really you really got into it right away. So I really want the donors to hear how you guys did that, because I think it's important.
Well, a huge shout out to our team at the Literacy Center. One of the things that we really focus on is how important, if you're doing adult education, it is to be very adaptable. You can't require adults to come to you. They are enmeshed in other priorities, raising their kids, bringing in money. So we try to design our programming to meet adults where they're at. And that involves a lot of adaptability, a lot of flexibility, a lot of quick pivoting. So I think having a culture of that really was well for us to respond to COVID. So we, ended our in-person programming at the end of March, but by the beginning of April, we were online completely, virtually. It was really impressive and very exciting.
Well, I was very impressed when I heard what you guys were doing. So we've got some great stories about how this has happened. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, one of them I want to talk about is our citizenship class. We started out pre-COVID with 2 in-person classes, opposite sides of town, and they were from different communities. And it became a quick collaboration virtually, everything was combined. Now you have to understand that many of our learners are frontline workers. They have a lot of stresses. They had new obstacles with COVID, but the determination and dedication of this group of folks to persevere, finish this class. And right here, we got a great picture. This is Dante Villarreal taking a selfie in his backyard celebrating with some of our learners and one of our instructors who taught the class, finishing the citizenship class. They are determined to get that citizenship. It's really exciting.
Wow, this is great. I mean, the dedication of your team to the people that you serve it's impressive and it's inspirational. I kind of at a lost words to describe it. But this is one of the reasons that I love investing in the work that you guys do. I also understand we have a video with a couple of our learners.
Yeah, we do. And I'm pleased I'm going to pull Chad Patton here. I'm going to step up. He's the director of our workplace English program, and he's going to introduce the video of Iman and Masi.
Take my spot here.
All right.
Thank you, Martin. Thanks, Wendy. So yeah, I am so pleased to really introduce this video. I got to know Iman and Masi when they both started learning English at the Literacy Center. They're from Algeria, and they moved to the United States last March. Iman is part of our tutoring program, and I'll tell you right now, Masi started our English class program, and right now is currently watching this video.
Hey, Masi!
So hi, Masi, and hi to Miss Teresa's class. And so I had a chance to talk with them via Zoom last month about their experiences during COVID, which involved having their son Silas in the midst of the pandemic. So we're going to hear about them.
Oh, wow. Great.
My name is Iman. I'm from Algeria. I came here last year. I'm an architect. I didn't find a job yet in this field.
My name is Masi Sabeshker. I am from Algeria. Me too. I am architect. I arrived in United States in 2019, and same with my wife. I didn't find a job in my field yet. I work at packaging company, Access. Because it's very important to now speak and read English when we come in America. And for us, we want to find a job in our field, in architecture office. And it's very important to now speak English. It's the key.
Yes, yes, of course. For instance, when I had my prenatal visits at the hospital, I was speaking English, and I didn't expect to do as well as I did. Yeah, I had the opportunity to be helped by a translator, but I prefer to challenge myself and do all my visits by myself in English.
Yeah, it was difficult for me when I start to learn English, because in my country I didn't learn English, I didn't speak English, but now I feel more comfortable, and I can speak with different people.
I'm getting more and more confident in my English pronunciation and my English skills. So I feel more comfortable talking with people everywhere, and also the phone,
Yeah.
answering the phone. You know, when I came first, I was terrified when I hear the phone ringing. I was terrified because I was scared not to understand what people said, especially when they were speaking fast, and the pronunciation was not easy for me to understand.
Silas born. He was his blood sugar is low, and because that he had to stay at the hospital for 2 more weeks. And due to the situation, due to the COVID-19, it was very difficult. Very difficult to stay just 2 or 3 days. And when we have to stay 2 more weeks with the virus, it was very difficult for us. And he doesn't stay with us in the same room with his problem, with his blood sugar low.
Yeah, we can say that we almost understood everything we were told, and we could communicate about his health, the baby's health, and we could request more clarifications about that. We could communicate well.
To improve my English, because I think it's the key to study at the university and to find a better job in my field.
I want to speak naturally without thinking about it, and I also want to go back to school to have a master's degree here in America, so that I can be an architect here and work in the field of architecture.
Well, I am hopeful that the Literacy Center and we at the Literacy Center can be a part of helping you achieve those goals as much as we can, and that we still continue to be in contact. And one day we'll celebrate with you when you get your master's degree.
Oh, Wendy, that's a really powerful story. There's so many of those kinds of stories that we don't get to hear. But again, as donors, I think those are the kinds of things that we're looking for when somebody is able to get through the process of having a baby.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fantastic.
very gratifying to know that they were empowered with that. And our learners have had to navigate a lot right now because of COVID, with their jobs, with health, and language. Not knowing the language creates one more stressful barrier.
But the other thing that you guys have done as part of this is you guys have been a conduit between the people that you serve and some of these other things in the other services in the community. And again, I think this is something that our donors and people who want to support the Literacy Center need to hear about because it's important.
Absolutely, because we have really strong relationships with over 700 of our learners. We've been an important connection for them to access food, cash, and housing. We had one really great partnership with a number of organizations where we are at food distribution sites, passing out children's books to families, and the response was huge. The gratitude for families was huge when they showed up for food and also knew they were going to get books. Here's a picture of our team at work passing out the books. It's great. It's a great experience.
So, that's awesome. And I am impressed with the way you guys have handled the pivot to virtual learning and distance learning. But, one of the other things that I've heard a lot about is the lack of technology. You guys came up with kind of a solution with that too.
Yeah, as you can imagine, technology is a huge barrier, and many of our learners don't possess the right technology to do the work. And we're really excited because we got a great donation from Fifth Third and GRPS to help us with the Chromebooks. Here's a great picture of one of our Zoom classes. So it's been really impressive how not just our staff, but our tutors and also our learners have gone on this digital learning curve and gotten online. And now we've got this great donation from Fifth Third. We are going to be providing Chromebooks to our parents at Grand Rapids Public Schools. It's exciting.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I just applaud you guys because, even though I only have one daughter, I do know a little bit about some of the frustration that parents have had with kids and learning and having to share technology. So thank you to Fifth Third and GRPS for the donations. And, it's stuff like that, like working together in a community that makes this kind of work successful. So,
well, you know how passionate I am about the Family Literacy Program. Having served on Grand Rapids Public School Board, I know that if we don't support the parents in these children's lives and their literacy development, it's going to be very challenging for those children to be kindergarten ready and reading at third grade. And now everybody knows it, they're living it in their own lives. It's national news, the stress that parents are under, supporting their children with online learning. Imagine if you didn't have formal education yourself, didn't know the language. So we are doubling down on family literacy. We're in 3 districts. We have 9 locations. We're also at Head Start. And so I'm pretty excited about that work.
and what about the workplace programs? I know this is part of my passion, being an employer. How are you getting through all of that?
Well, as you can imagine, for our learners, upskilling in their job and securing employment is more important than ever. And we have not let up the gas on that. In addition to meeting our learners' needs, we're also sensitive to what the community needs are. For instance, there's a huge need for certified nurse assistants in our community. So with Goodwill, we stayed the course, moved that course online with some in-person clinical work. Oh, this is a great photo of some of our learners getting integrated English instruction around the certifications of becoming a certified nurse assistant. Great partnership with Goodwill.
So I just did a time check for all of you that are watching, and I always like to be respectful of people's time. So we've got a few more things to get through, but if you need to get off the call, if you can't keep listening, make sure you leave with texting Wine Words 2020 to 50155. How are we doing? We haven't moved much, so if you guys are just enjoying this video, you need to get that text function out and start making the needle move a little on our thermometer. So I'm sorry, because I just did the time check.
That's all right. We're jumping around. We want to hear from our tutors too. Our tutors have been amazing. Our tutors have taken on online learning. They've been meeting in parks, working on the phone. You're a tutor. Let's hear from the chat. We want to hear you guys. And please consider being a tutor if you haven't. Here's the information online. Right now, everything is virtual. It's never been a better time to become a tutor. We have a learner waiting for you.
So, one more question about this is, and everybody's asking, like, when do you think you'll get back to in-person, or will some of what you've learned maybe stay the way it is?
Well, we've learned a lot, and actually some of the innovations we've had are going to enhance our programming, even when we have the privilege of being together in person. But unfortunately, the expense of the technology needs is high. And so right at a time when we can't do our big in-person events raising money, we actually need more funds for technology. So everybody out there, we need your help. We need new donors.
So yes, you heard her. She's innovative, and they distributed the learning into people's homes. And even though we don't have time for all this, they've also been very fiscally responsible through all of this, which is also important for sustainability in an organization. And I just want to thank you guys for doing that as well. We have another quick video. Right?
Yeah, we have a video from a learner. We actually took this footage before COVID happened. And he is a refugee from Sudan. And what I want you to know is he expresses so much of what so many folks in our community experience. Real isolation when he doesn't know the language, but determination to connect, and a recognition that knowing the language is key to that connection and to that success. This is Ahmed.
The first 4 months, it was hard for me. I never met someone from my country for 4 months. Later, I found somebody from Sudan, and he came to my house, and he helped me. Sometime like weekend, he gave me a ride, go to grocery store, go to mall, to see the world, how the walls look like. He helped me a lot. I met people been here like 10 years. They don't taking English classes. They don't go to schools. I don't want to take the road. They gave me the address for a literacy center, and the manager told me that go here, come here, and they will help you. So that's what happened. But now it's getting easier. I'm going to go around downtown, talk to people, making more friends. I've been working in my previous company for three years. So I get laid off, so I'm free now. I'm gonna take more classes until I get the new jobs. So, yeah, I know it's a long way to go, but yeah. Been to this school for two years, tutoring and taking classes every day. Come to class to learn more English. Right now I feel like I'm learning a lot, so yes, I need help a lot, but yes, come to class every day, talk to friends, come to school, talk to teachers, and yes, that way my English is getting better. And I feel like my English is getting better. Taking more classes, study hard, talk to people, teachers, friends, watching news, reading newspapers, magazines, fiction books. I use all this kind of tool to improve my English. Yes. At home, I use movies, news, I use YouTube, and yeah. It wasn't easier before, but now it's getting easier. Come to my school. This place is real. It's like my house, so I will never forget this place. The people that helped me, I will never forget them. I just want to make my life simple. Interact with people, get better job. Yeah. My big dream is I'm gonna become a citizen first. The second, I'm gonna get my GED. The third, I'm gonna go to college.
Man, that was a great video. Ahmed, if you're watching, thank you very much for taking the time. That can be a little scary, but the fact that you did that and the accomplishments that you've had really may give some other people courage to do the same thing. And sometimes it's that first step that's really, really hard. We are running late on time, so we do want to increase our band of advocate donors. And so if you've never donated to the Literacy Center, please join us now in doing that. Text Wine Words 2020 to, I can't see that number, 50155. The thermometer is going up a little bit.
All right.
Yay. Not as much as I would have liked. I think I'm going to lose this bet.
Yeah, but you know what, Mark, at the virtual celebration, we had donations after the fact. So send your check, donate online, and we will announce the grand total after the fact.
All right. So again, if you want to join a book club, $1,200 a year commitment, and then you can come to our pre-event. And it's just $100 a month.
It was so great for you guys to meet Ahmed. We have so many amazing learners. We love your support. We love the community. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
And Wendy, thank you and your team. I didn't get to do all of that, but you guys have done an amazing job with everybody. I think I can't close without saying thank you to you and your staff for just being there for so many people in our community and being true to your mission and delivering on the promises that you make to your donors. And for those of you who have been supporters for many years, Wendy and her team just keep delivering literacy to the people in our community that need it. And they do it in a very responsible way. And that's the kind of team that, a donor like me and many of you want to get behind, because you want to see that the money that you're giving the organization has real results. And Wendy, you and your team do that. So I'd be remiss if we missed saying that, even if we're going over time. So thank you all for watching. Text Wine Words 2020 to, I can't even remember that, 50155. And have a great night.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you.
All right. Bye.